everyone, welcome to the first mat Pilates class that I'll be teaching you during this wonderful period where we're all going to be at home for a little while. So starting off, all you need for this session today, if you've got access to it, is just a really good broom handle or any kind of stick, or you can also use a chair just to lean up against, and I'm also going to use a towel just to look after my head and neck a little bit. So starting off, making sure you've got plenty of room around you for this entire session and a nice mat to lie on. Look, I would recommend having a comfortable mat if you've got one. If you don't, lay an extra towel across it or do it on carpeted floor if you can. So starting off, we're just going to take a nice deep breath in as we reach our arms right up overhead, and then exhale, reach the arms around and down as far as you can, and then slowly, as you get your hands down to your thighs, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing your hands all the way down towards your toes. Then from here, I'm imagining that I'm sitting backwards into a chair slightly so I get a nice stretch through the back of my legs. I roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, roll those shoulders back and down, and then circle the arms up towards the ceiling. So taking a nice deep breath in as I reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms around and down, and then slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. So starting with a tuck of the chin, rolling down all the way. Stretching through the back of the leg, so plant the heels, gently tuck the tailbone, rolling up until you can roll your shoulders back and down. We're going to do one more here, and then we're going to come all the way down to the ground. So take a deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, open the chest up towards the ceiling, bring the arms down and around. Tuck the chin first, and then gently roll down vertebrae by vertebrae until you get all the way down towards your toes. Then when you're ready, I'm going to get you to come all the way down onto the mat. And I'm just going to move the camera so you can see me a little better for this next series here. So when you are ready, finding a nice comfortable position on the mat here. Now I'm going to just move my towel so that it can be underneath my head. So make sure that you're in a comfortable position where your head can rest on the mat. Make sure that your towel isn't lifting your head up too much. You just want a little bit of support, only if it's comfortable for you. So starting off here, we're going to do a little bit of pelvic movement. So I want you to think about really allowing yourself to melt into the mat. So first of all, just relax your palms down onto the mat. You can have palms down or palms up. I like palms up as it really opens up through my collarbones. From here, I'm thinking about pushing my pelvis as far away from the crown of my head as possible. So I'm not cramped up. I'm really trying to get some length through my spine. So my sacrum is nice and heavy on the mat, and my pelvis is really pushed as far away as I can go. Now, I want you to imagine that you've got your core or your little pelvis is like a little bowl of soup. So the 4 points of the corners are going to be your belly button, your pubic bone, and your little ischial tuberosities, which are those 2 little bony bits on the front of your hips. So just imagine those 4 little points of your hips as being a nice little full bowl of soup, and we're going to use that as a little bit of imagery during this series here. So when you're nice and relaxed on the mat, your heels are underneath your knees or around about, we're going to start off with just a little bit of pelvic rocking. So imagining that you're tilting the bowl of soup up towards you, and then you're gently letting it rock away. So you'll see here that you won't even be spilling your little bowl of soup. It's just a tiny little movement to get a little bit of movement through your pelvis. I wanted to start with an activity like this because I found, especially myself this week, that I'm so rigid through parts of my body that I wouldn't think I would be from holding a little bit of stress. There are so many stressful things on the news and in the media. And I know that I myself hold a lot of tension through my body, and I know a lot of you do too. So it's so wonderful just to start to get some more feeling into these parts of our body to try and just reduce some of that tension through our body. So we're still just rocking our pelvis back and forth. We're going to go for about 4 more. So rocking back, then rock away. And let's go 1 more each way. From here now this is a little bit of a tricky one. I want you to imagine that your knees or your legs are suspended from the ceiling, so they're independent to the rest of our body. Now what I want you to think about doing is rocking your pelvis from side to side. So you're imagining spilling that, or almost just tipping that bowl of soup towards the left, then tipping the bowl of soup towards the right. So it's a really tiny little movement. I want you to think about this movement around the heads of your femurs, gently moving them from side to side. So you'll see here my knees are moving a tiny little bit because I'm really stiff. But I want you just to totally relax and just think about that movement coming around your pelvis. And it kind of feels nice once you've found the right positioning. So just rocking from side to side. And then when you're ready, we're going to marry up those two movements and go into little clockwise circles with our pelvis. So imagine that you wanted to just create a little current in your bowl of soup. So just stirring something around. So if you dropped like a little crouton into your bowl of soup, that it would just circle around the bowl. So tiny little clockwise circles through the pelvis. And you'll see I'm struggling with this to keep my knees dead still. Stiff little pelvis. And then we're going to go in an anti-clockwise direction. So just getting some nice movement through the pelvis. And this is one you can do in bed as well. It's a nice little exercise that you can do in bed, and you can get better and better at it and have even better articulation through your spine. So if you get lower back pain, this is a great exercise for it. Okay, let's get into some more fun stuff now. So now that you've got a little bit more mobility through your pelvis, we're going to go into a bridge here. So you'll see my heels are just out of reach of my fingertips. I'm really going to let my shoulders drop back and down. So keeping a really open, proud chest. I've got nice smiling collarbones. It's a dorky cue, but it works for me. And then scoop the tailbone, and we're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. And then, when you're ready, I'm going to think about the movement lowering from my sternum first. So lowering from the sternum, gently lowering my hips all the way back down to the ground. Now, if you get any lower back pain, especially when you get to about this point in the range of the bridge, then just move within your comfortable zone and lift with a neutral spine instead. So do let me know if you're getting any discomfort through the hammies or through the lower back. Now, what I'm going to do, if I'm feeling it through my hamstrings, is just bring my feet a little bit closer towards me. So lifting the hips up nice and strong, and then gently lowering the body all the way back down. And lifting my hips up towards the ceiling, nice and strong, and then gently lowering all the way back down. So this is a wonderful movement to get these glutes firing, because I've got a few fun little movements for you today. And gently lowering back down. Let's go just one more here. So lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, and then gently lower your glutes all the way back down towards the ground. Beautiful. Okay, moving on now, we're going to rock the knees from side to side. So gently allowing my knees to open right up from one side over to the other. Now you'll see here what I've done is I've brought my arms out to the side. So that allows me to get a little bit deeper into a spinal twist here. It's up to you. You do not have to open your arms out wide, but I just get a little bit more benefit by doing it this way. So rocking those knees from side to side, getting some nice movement through the pelvis. We have puppies. And then when you're ready, what I'd like you to do to take yourself a little bit deeper into this movement is to bring up one leg, followed by the other leg into a tabletop position. Outside, puppies. Okay, when you're ready from here, you're going to find that tabletop position and then gently rock the knees from one side over towards the other. So what I do to get more out of this movement is imagine my upper body rolling in the opposite direction. So rolling from one side over to the other. Just a nice little rock. Now if you're feeling this too intensely through your thighs, you can definitely regress back to these knee rocks. We're here for about a minute more, so choose whatever you get the most benefit out of. So if you find that you get a little bit more benefit out of this one and you really feel your oblique muscle fibers, so your side abdominals working, then that is absolutely fantastic. So just getting a really nice rock from one side to the other. Now for those of you that are really quite strong through their abdominals, if they'd like to take this one step further, you can straighten your legs a little bit more up towards the ceiling and rock your knees from one side over to the other. That is up to you, only if that feels really nice. But I do find that I get a little bit more out of this movement if I have my arms just out to the side and I really focus on keeping my spine imprinted. So try not to let your back arch away from the ground and just think about maintaining normal breathing. Do not hold your breath through this exercise. Rocking those knees from side to side. Let's go for 5 more. Woo, I'm feeling warm. Good. Let's go 3 more. Knees rocking from side to side. Whatever level of extension works best for you. Okay, fantastic. You can gently bring one, followed by the other, back down to the ground. Now, this next movement, I've got lots of options for you. So this is depending on how your neck feels when you do roll-up variations. If you prefer to leave your head down on the ground, that is absolutely fine. But I'm going to show you a postural variation first of all. So coming up into a seated position, I'll just change this camera so you can see me a little more. Coming up into a seated position. Now, this is level 1. So this is if you want to just look after your back and neck a little bit more. So I'm going to start off with a really nice proud chest, pulling my shoulder blades together. And then from here, I'm going to gently roll down just a little bit. So you'll see I'm in a C shape with my spine. So I'm not leaning straight backwards. I'm imagining that I want to lower myself down vertebrae by vertebrae towards the mat. And then I want to slowly come back up with a little bit of assistance with my hands on my thighs to lift myself back up. So peeling down vertebrae by vertebrae and then coming back up. Now, if that feels lovely for you and that is enough intensity for you for this morning, then you can absolutely stay with this movement. If you prefer to take this movement a little bit further, come along with me now. So this next exercise, you can either stay with the little rollback that we were just doing, or you can come with me for this movement now. Now I'm going to rest my head in my hands. My head is pushing back into my hands, so I'm not pulling on my head. And from here, I'm going to stay broad through my collarbones, so opened up. I'm going to inhale to prepare, and then I'm going to roll up. So when you're ready, you can come and join me with this next movement. Exhale, roll up, and look towards inner thighs. Then I'm going to gently roll back down. So I want to be long through my spine, and I'm going to exhale as I roll up to press my rib cage and look towards inner thighs, not jutting my chin forward. So I'm staying nice and heavy through my head, and I'm really focusing on lifting myself up from my rib cage. So I should be able to move my head left and right pretty freely if I'm doing this little roll up correctly. So rolling up, looking towards thighs. Now, if this is enough for you, you can stay here for the next minute, or you can come with me for a progression. Roll up, find your thighs, pull yourself just that tiny bit deeper into flexion, then lower down, hands to head, relax back down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll up, reach, lift, then gently lower, hands to head, lower back down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, reach, lift, lower down, hands back to head, lower back down. Let's go 3 more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll up and reach. Pull yourself in a little deeper. Oh, my little abbies. And then hands to head, roll back down. 2 to go. Deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, roll up, reach and pull. Lower down, hands to head, and rest back down. Let's do the very last one. Broad collarbones, open elbows, roll up, reach, pull in strong, lower back down, and rest there. Beautiful. Okay, tummy should be a little bit warmer at this stage now. So just rock those knees from side to side. Enjoy a nice little movement from side to side with those little knee rocks. Okay, from here now we're going to go into a little challenge that looks similar but is working slightly different muscles through our abdominals. So coming up again into that seated position. Now with your shoulders back and down, you're going to find that C curve. So you'll see here my heels are planted on the ground, my tailbone is scooped slightly, and I'm just going to keep my shoulders nice back and down and relaxed. So from here, what you're going to do is gently peel down just about 3/4 of the way, as if you're trying to lower yourself down as carefully as possible, and then come all the way back up into that seated position. So peeling down, my shoulders and back and neck are relaxed, and then coming back up. All the while, I'm thinking about holding myself from hip bone to hip bone. So draw that belly button back towards your spine, and think about drawing your hip bones together. They don't actually move, but that little cue does help. So peeling down. You're not going to be moving them in this exercise at least. Okay, little progression here. Now you can either stay with this movement or come with me now. Peel down, and now I'm going to take my right arm and lift it up overhead 6 times. So reaching your arm up and down 6 times. Welcome to my crazy house with barking dogs. reaching that arm up and down. Now, woo, I am really feeling my abdominals working in this exercise. Okay, we're going to do 2 more here. Doing well. You're joining me with this one. And then peeling back up. Fantastic work. This time, let's peel down again. And now my left arm is going to reach up and down. Now I'm thinking about keeping my chin slightly tucked towards my throat. And I'm bringing that arm up and down, keeping the rest of my body nice and still. So shoulders are back and down. Belly button drawn into spine. Tailbone is scooped. Let's go 3. And 2. And last one here. Fantastic work. Roll up. Now you can either repeat that sequence and do 6 either side, or peel back down and come with me here. We're going to bring both arms up, reaching right overhead, and then lower back down. Woo! So I like to exhale as I reach up overhead. Inhale, arms come back down. Exhale, arms reach up overhead. Holy abdominals. Should definitely be feeling them at this point. Exhale, reaching arms up overhead. Inhale, back down. Let's go 6 more if you can. 6, reaching up. Come up for a rest if you need to. 5, really active, reaching arms. Oh my goodness, I'm working up a sweat. 4, reach, then lower back down. 3, you'll see that I'm strong through the abdominals. My tailbone is staying scooped. You can come up a little higher if you need it to be easier. 2, was that a second 2? And last one here, long reach. Oh, fantastic work. And rest there. Now, you can come all the way back down onto your mat because I've got even more abs coming your way. So if you need to rest for a moment and just let those knees rock from side to side, do a few little pelvic shuffles around and just give your lower abs a little bit of love, that's absolutely fine. But with this next movement, we're going to go into abs prep. Now I'm going to give you lots of variations, so listen out for you what sounds best and what feels best for your body. Remember, you don't have to stick with the tough exercise the whole way through. If you think, oh, okay, that's enough for me, I'm going to go to a lighter movement, that's absolutely fine. So starting off with abs prep, so you'll see here my arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. Then I want to imagine that I want to reach that little bit further towards the ceiling, so my shoulder blades just lift off the ground, and then I breathe in to prepare, and exhale, pull my arms all the way down towards my heels. Breathing in to prepare, to relax, and relax those shoulder blades back down. So I'm going to exhale and reach, and then pull down. You might already feel your abdominals switching on a little bit if you're really in tune with those little lower abs. Think about scooping your tailbone, tucking that tail in between the legs, long arms reach down. Inhale, arms up, and relax shoulder blades back down. Now, if you'd like a little bit more, you can come with me into a tabletop position. So with that, what you're going to do is imprint through your spine and bring up one leg, followed by the other leg into a strong tabletop position. So here my knees are over the top of my hips and my heels are just above the line of the knees, but they can come into a little bit more of a tabletop, just a little bit lower if they want to. I'm going to do the same movement now. So inhale to prepare, exhale, reach and lift shoulder blades, pulling arms down with that long exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reach and pull down. Inhale, arms back up. If you want a little bit more, come with me with a little roll up. And then inhale, back down. We're going to stay here for 30 more seconds. So exhale, roll up and reach. Your neck should feel weightless. So you should not have any neck discomfort during this movement. So if you prefer to keep your head down on the towel, that's absolutely fine. Exhale, roll up, reach. Inhale, rolling back down. Let's go 3 more. Inhale, back down. Exhale, 2. Trust me, breathing makes all the difference. Last one. Exhale. Inhale, rest there. Fantastic. Feet find the ground. Now we're going to go into a series of hundreds. Now, those of you that have worked with me at Pilates before will know that I love them because they're such an effective exercise, no matter what variation you take. So level 1, I'd like you on your tippy toes and pumping the arms. That is level 1. So that's an option that you can take. Level 2, we'll be taking this position with me with legs in tabletop and arms pumping. Now you'll see here, it's a little fanning movement. It's not a big flopping, active little floppy hands going. It's really long, straight arms that are pumping air. And level 3 will be with every exhale, reaching up, looking in between your inner thighs And every inhale, resting head back down. Now, come with me when you are ready. You can choose any option that suits you. So when you're ready now, inhale to prepare. Exhale, bringing up one leg, followed by the other leg. Let's start pumping those arms. Okay, breathing in to prepare. Exhale, roll up and look between inner thighs, pumping those arms. Inhale, head rests back down. Exhale, rolling up, looking towards inner thighs. You're doing really well. You can take any option. Remember, you can still do this with your feet on the floor or your head rested down the entire time. That's absolutely fine. Exhale, roll up and lift your head. Pump those arms. Now think about keeping the tailbone scooped and really focus on keeping that spine imprinted. Pump those arms. We're only here for about 30 more counts. Inhale in, head back down. Tummy should be working hard. Pump those arms. Really pump those arms. Exhale, roll up and reach. The movement comes from the shoulder, not from the little elbows or wrists. We have got one more inhale and one more exhale. Pump those arms. You've got 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest there. You should feel your tummy. Absolutely, you should feel your tummy working or having had worked. And now from here, we're going to go straight into another abdominal exercise. So you take your time if you need to. I'm always a little bit thirsty after doing hundreds because I breathe so much during them. So take a moment and pause the video if you need to have a little drink. Otherwise, we're going to go into a movement called crisscross. Now with this exercise here, what you can do without supporting the weight of your head and your hands, we're going to be moving the hands either side of one leg, up towards right up overhead, and then either side of the other leg. Now, that is level 1. That's if you just want to bring some movement into the shoulders. If you would like to take this to level 2 with me, what I'm going to do here is bring one leg in between, so the hands go either side of that leg. So the knee goes in between the arms and then lower it back down and then other leg. So I'm alternating legs. So it's a little bit tricky to see with black leggings, but alternating movements. Now, if you would like a little bit more, as the arms move, you roll up and reach towards that leg. So it's a little bit of a spiral, a little bit of a twist through the upper body. So getting a nice little bit of rotation through the upper body. It is up to you whether or not you want to roll up. If you don't want to roll up, that's absolutely fine. Remember, you can just keep your head down and move from one leg over to the other leg. We're here for about 30 more seconds. You'll see my arms are long and straight, so I'm not bending at the elbows. I like to keep long, nice legs, so I'm not letting the legs extend all the way to the ground. I'm keeping my knees bent. We're going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resting there. Fantastic work. When you are ready, roll on over onto your belly. So now, with this next movement, it's a little bit of a tricky one if you have lower back issues. Not necessarily tricky, I'm just going to give you lots and lots of cues so that it's really straightforward. So with this next exercise here, my hands are just up, reaching a little bit further ahead than they normally would be. So for a bit of alignment, my elbow creases are around about in line with my eyes. From here, all I'd like you to do is do a gentle lift up. So I just want you to lift your head off your towel and then lower back down. And then lift up as you exhale and lower back down. Now I want you to think about your transverse abdominis, so your lower tummy muscles switching on to support your lower back here. So every time you exhale, think about making your pelvis really heavy into the ground, drawing up through your pelvic floor and staying connected through your abdominals. If you would like more cues, please let me know. Now when you're ready, lift up and hold. And from here, I'm going to stay anchored through my forearms and I'm going to look to my right and then look to my left. So I'm doing a little shake of my head while staying active through the upper body. So don't lift up too high if it's not comfortable. If you can lift up a little further, that's fantastic. Just looking left and right, getting really nice mobility through the neck. Okay, let's do 3 and 2. And 1. Good. From here, stay lifted if you can. Otherwise, we'll lower down for a moment and rest. When you're ready, we're going to go into yeses. So looking ahead slightly, not too far, and then tuck your chin to your chest. So this is not the easiest movement to do because you're not lowering your head right down to the ground. You're just strengthening through your deep neck flexors. For those of you at home that like to know the muscle that we're working, we're really trying to connect through the sternocleidomastoid and the little neck extensors as well. But the SCM, the big one at the front, is the one that we're really trying to target here. Little tuck, little lift. Let's go 2 more. And 1 more here. Okay, this next movement is a little bit of a tricky one. So I'm going to face the screen so that you can hear me really clearly for the first part. What you're going to do here is lift your palms off the mat. Then lift your elbows, then lower elbows, then lower palms. So lifting hands, lifting elbows, lower elbows, lower palms. If that's enough for you and you don't like to take your body into any more extension, that's completely fine. If you would like to, come and join me for this next little addition. So now we're going to lift the palms, lift the elbows, lift head and neck, lower elbows, lower palms, lower head and neck. So then lift palms, lift elbows, lift head and neck. Woo, that's tough. Lower elbows, lower palms, lower head and neck. Lifting palms, lifting elbows, lifting head and neck. Then lowering elbows, lowering palms, lower head and neck. Lifting palms, lifting elbows, lifting head and neck. Woo! Lower elbows, lower palms, lower head and neck. Let's do 1 more. Lift palms, lift elbows, lift head and neck, lower elbows, lower palms, lower head and neck. Fantastic work. That's a really good movement to get some movement through those muscles that support the shoulder blades. So really well done. Okay, when you are ready now, we are going to go into a little bit more of a swan movement. So I'm taking my hands a little bit further backwards, as if I wanted to push myself up off the floor, but we're not going to just yet. So hands are just around above my shoulders, and all of you have different ranges of motion. So don't feel like you need to get up really high to achieve much in this exercise. What I'd like you to do with this one is draw your belly button in, anchor your pelvis into the ground, and then it's just a tiny little lift. So it's just a little push up and then lower back down. If it's uncomfortable to do that, take your arms a little bit further out in front of you and do a little lift up here. So this is a really nice spinal extension movement. Little lift up, little lower back down. If you can tolerate a little more, take those arms back further. Lift up a little more. It's up to you, whatever range you've got, work with that range. So if you can lift up quite a way, that's fantastic. If you don't have that range through your lumbar, that is absolutely fine. Just work with the little range that you've got. Let's do 3, lifting up, lowering back down, and 2, chest proud, collarbones open, and then we're going to do 1 more. So lifting up, collarbones open, and then we're going to sit back towards the heels. I've come into 4-point kneeling now, so I want you to draw your belly button into your spine. And from here, we're going to get a little bit more movement through the spine with a bit of cat-cow. So from here, you're going to arch your back up towards the ceiling, and then take a nice deep breath in as you circle open through the rib cage and look ahead of you just a little bit. Deep breath in, and then as you exhale out, arch the back up towards the ceiling. Draw your belly button in strong. And then exhale as you open up through your chest. Deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, tuck up into that little ball. And then we'll get into more of a rhythm. Breathing in as you look forwards. Breathing out as you arch your back up towards the ceiling. Think about lifting your rib cage. And then you're going to breathe in as you look forwards. One last one here. So you're going to exhale, arch your back up towards the ceiling. And then breathe in as you come back into this position. Now this next exercise I really like. I think that it's a good little challenge for your glutes. So coming into 4-point kneeling, and then here, can you extend your left leg back behind you? So you'll see here my left leg is straightened. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand, and trust me, it's easier to follow along with the exact cue, so try and do the exact same side as me. and bring your left hand to the top of the mat. So you'll see here, my right hand is alongside the mat, right next to my right knee. My left hand is at the top corner of the mat, and my left leg is extended. Now from here, what I'm going to do is lift my left leg up and then lower back down. And left leg lifts up and lowers back down. And you should feel your left glute firing. If you feel your hamstring more so, soften your left knee and focus on your left glute working more. Now we're going to do 5 more here. It's a little bit of a balance game too. 4, doing really well. And 3. And 2. Okay, now 1, lift that leg up and take it over so that you can see it out of the corner of your eye, then bring it back. Up and over, bringing it right over to the right side of your body, then bring it back. I am getting sweaty. This is tough. So tapping it to the side, then return. Right over the side. Oh my goodness, both glutes are working. And we've got 2. You're doing really well. And 1 last one here. Fantastic work. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the other side of my body. So now I'm going to extend my right leg away from me. And I'm going to bring my right hand to the top corner of the mat and my left hand next to my left knee. Now from here, I'm going to lift my right leg up and lower it back down. I'll just come forward a little bit so you can see my little leggy working. So from here, my right leg lifts up and lowers back down. Now you'll see here there's very minimal movement through my thoracic spine. Woo! So I'm staying really strong through my core. Lift and lower. Remember, you can soften the knee a little bit to get a little bit more of a glute focus happening. Now when you're ready for a little bit more, we'll just do 3 more of these. And 2. And 1. Okay, now we lift up and hold and we take that leg over to the other side and I'm looking back towards my toes. Then I return to the normal spot. Right up and over the other leg. Then return. And up and over. And return. Let's go 3 more. Shoulders back and down. And return. And 2. Bit of an opening through the right side of my body. And last one. Oh my goodness, little glutes. And they're not done yet. But fantastic work. Have a little breather for a moment and shake out your wrists if you need to. Because now we're going to go into a little bit of a push-up combo. Now this one's a bit tricky, so I'm going to give you lots of options. Starting off, hands are about shoulder distance apart, and all I'm going to do is bend at my elbows a little bit and bring my chest forwards, then come back up. So this is level 1. Belly button draws into spine, progress chest forwards, almost as if you wanted to headbutt towards your towel on the ground. So you're trying to shift your body weight forwards, then come back up and corkscrew your elbows back behind you. So they're not out to the side, they are back behind you. Okay, little progression here. If you want more, we're going to do 10 per side. Extend one leg back behind you. It doesn't have to be a big movement here. You will still feel your triceps working. So keep the weight even through both triceps, one leg back behind you. Let's go 4. And 3. Woo! And 2. Even a tiny movement works. And 1. Okay, let's switch sides. So now other leg back behind you. And we're going to go 10. And up. And 9. Even a tiny movement works, remember. 8. And 7. You're doing really well. And 6. Good. And 5. Stay strong through the core. And 4. Really want to test yourself. Take that leg up high. 3. And 2. And last one here. Oh my goodness, triceps. Give them a little bit of love. Give them a little bit of a pummel, because now we are going into even more glute work. We gave them the tiniest break, so I'm going to move this so that you can see me with this last exercise here, or second last, should I say. Take in your stick, because it will come in handy with this next little movement here. Actually, I'll move it down just so you can see me that tiny bit better. I'm short, but I'm not that short. Okay, I've got my stick here, and what I'm going to get you to do is poke your bottom out. So you'll see here that I'm not coming into a squat. It's not any forward knee movement. I'm really getting my bottom back behind me. Then here, what I'm going to do is transfer the load to my left leg, so my leg that's closest to the screen here. Poke the bottom out, and transfer the weight to the left leg. Now, keeping everything else nice and still, I'm going to tap my right leg back and forth. Depending on that stick, only the littlest bit for stability. So you should not feel it through your knee of this leg because you're really focusing on getting those hips back behind you and chest forward. So you should start to feel it through the stabilizing glute. Minimal dependence on that stick. Tapping back and forth. Let's go 8. Draw that belly button into your spine. And 6. And we've got more coming, so do not rest after this. 3. And 2. Okay, when you're ready, what I want you to do is tap that leg back behind you and then bring your knee through. And tap your leg back behind you and bring your knee through. Now remember, it doesn't have to be a big tap. It can even be just a couple of centimeters back, but focus on bringing that knee through. If you can, just one fingertip on top of the stick. You'll see I'm using my stick quite a bit. Tap, bring that leg through. 3, good work. And 2, tap and bring through. And last one here, beautiful work. Let's do the other side. So my leg closest to the screen is going to be the one working now. So poke your bottom back behind you as if you're just thinking about sitting back into a chair, but not going too far down. From here, I'm going to transfer the weight to my other leg now. So when you're ready, transfer the weight to the other leg. And I had the stick on the wrong side. So transferring the weight to my right leg now. And now I'm going to tap my left leg back and tap back in. And tap back and bring it back in. You'll see I am static through the rest of my body. Tap back, bring it back in. Check in with your little knuckles over here. Make sure they're not white. Keeping a nice proud chest. Hand on opposite shoulder, hand wherever it works for you. I actually really like to rest my hand on my tummy to make sure that my lower abdominals are switched on. Otherwise, I am all over the place. Go for 5 and tap it back in. And 4. And 3. You're doing well. So well. 2. Last one. Do not rest there. Tap back. Bring that knee through. Tap back. Bring left knee through. Woo! Nearly lost my balance there. Go for 5. And it through. And 4. Good work. And 3. And 2. We've only got one more. Celebratory little knee drive with success. Well done. Get rid of that stick, and we have got a saw movement to finish off so that your spine feels really, really wonderful. So, taking a seat on your mat, make sure you are nice and comfortable in this position. Now, some of you might like to sit on a towel as well because it's a little bit more comfortable for the pelvis. If that's the case, that is absolutely fine. Now, I like to bring my legs as wide as possible here, so I'm sitting up really nice and tall over the top of my pelvis. Now, from here, I'm going to bring my arms out to a capital T, that's it. And then from here, I'm going to twist through my spine and reach and pulse for a 3, and 2, and 1. Then come back across the middle, and I'm going over to the other side, as if you want to saw off your baby toe. So getting a really nice twist through the spine. If you can only saw off your ankle, which I can today because I'm very tight through my little hammies, then that is absolutely fine. 3. Good work. We're going to do 2 more on each side. 2 and 3. Twist and rotate. And 1, 2, 3. Twist and rotate. 1, 2, 3. And we've got one more. Twist and rotate. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic work. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Friday morning Pilates. I hope you all have a really lovely weekend. I hope the world at least starts to settle down a little bit. So enjoy your weekends, distancing yourself from others, but I hope this little bit of virtual contact helped you start your weekend in a really positive way. Thank you all. Bye.